This is the worst treatment of humanity that I've ever witnessed.
Unspeakable abuse uncovered in a quiet neighborhood. A man allegedly locked away in a home, starving and alone for decades.
If he would have just banged on the window or something, we could have helped him.
Tonight, questions mount over how the victim slipped through the cracks in the system.
To figure out what happened, why it happened, and to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Tonight, looking for answers after a man says he was held captive by his stepmother for more than 20 years. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Mark Zinning. This is a case that's making national headlines right now after the 32-year-old victim was rescued. But there are a lot of questions about how all of this happened. Your reporter Bryant Reed is live in Waterbury with more on the next phase of this investigation tonight. Bryant.
Mark, the woman arrested in this horrific case is free on bond tonight. However, you'll notice that she hasn't returned to her home here on Blake Street. And if you get a closer look in the windows, you'll notice that they're still boarded up after police say the victim set his room on fire in order to be rescued. Now, tonight, a lawmaker told me what needs to be done moving forward so this never happens again.
The young man's unimaginable suffering over the course of 2 decades is just a reminder of the darkness that does exist in our world.
Arraigned and handcuffed, but released on bail, Kimberly Sullivan afforded a freedom she allegedly never allowed her stepson, which, according to police, is what led him to setting a fire to escape the home.
Information was very guarded on what was released and you know, when he was able to see other members of the family and other members of the community.
Waterbury Police Chief Fernando Spagnolo diving into the investigation with plenty of questions still to be answered, despite allegations from the victim saying he was forced to drink toilet water and lived on the verge of starvation. There were also concerns and complaints 20 years ago from the victim's school and friends, not only because the victim was pulled out of elementary school by his stepmother, but he was also showing up to school hungry, forced to ask for others' food or eat scraps from the garbage. The victim says DCF made 2 visits back in 2005, once for a welfare check, another because the family wanted to file charges against the school for harassment. According to DCF, none of the abuse and neglect claims were substantiated, so they got rid of the paperwork after 5 years, per state policy. Republican Senator Jason Perillo is the ranking senator on the Children's Committee, which oversees DCF policies in the legislature, and says a thorough investigation needs to be done.
Understand what the schools did, what they knew, what they shared. You know, if there are folks at DCF who are involved in this, who still work there, those folks have to be talked to. Quite honestly, if there are folks involved who don't work there, DCF has an obligation to pursue them and figure out what was done or what could have been done differently.
Kimberly Sullivan's lawyer says any and all allegations they vehemently deny.
Absolutely shocked. Okay, absolutely appalled by these allegations, absolutely shocked.
Now, Sullivan, although out on bond, still does have to report to a probation officer. Now, in the meantime, neither Sullivan nor her lawyer have explained exactly how her stepson got into the condition that he was found in. Meanwhile, Sullivan will return to court on March 26. Your reporter in Waterbury tonight, Bryant Reed, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.